something, because in our community or in our religion it is believed that once we eat something we are impure. So there are other restrictions also, like I have to go vegetarian, I can't eat the salad, the onion, tomatoes, like this. And they are believed that it's harmful for our health if we go through the scientific way. And also I can't eat with other peoples or even with the family people in the same tables. I have to stay very separate from them. And I have done 2 paintings, which took me around 3 months for each painting. And after the completion also, we again have to do the ritual known as the consecration. And the priest, he invites the god or goddesses through his puja and requests to the deities to reside in the painting. And then it's not only the form of art, it's the god or goddess himself or herself. And then these paintings are kept in the shrine room. And one painting is in my shrine room also, and one is in the Museum of Nepalese Art. This was the process that the artist used to follow from the ancient time, but after the medieval period of Nepal, the artist has not seems to be followed these rituals, and that's why I feel like this is the foundation of our artworks. And if we really like to preserve this art, we have to preserve this ritual and this process.
Namaste everyone. This time the exhibition is about the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Nepal. This was jointly organized by Silk Road Cities Alliance, Nepal Academy of Fine Arts, China Cultural Center in Nepal, and the Ambassador of China in Nepal. These paintings, we are pleased to present 60 paintings and calligraphy works by 5 renowned Chinese painters to Nepali audiences.
中国画的特点呢是画家用毛笔、用墨。
Generally speaking, the traditional Chinese paintings draw inspiration from landscapes, figures, and the delicate world of flowers and birds as its central theme. Though graceful brushstroke techniques and subtle sets of inks and pigment, it vividly portrays the natural beauty of green mountains, flowing waters, flowers, birds, insects, and fish. Normally, there are 2 types of traditional Chinese paintings. One is focused in the relaxed and expressive freehand style rather than aiming for photographic realism. It relies on bold and economic brushstrokes to capture the spirit and sense of the subject. And another one is the fine brushwork techniques, which is one of the major features of Chinese painting. And it uses precise lines and delicate detail color to present the scenery in the painting. Chinese painting is also famous for its integration of poetry, calligraphy, painting, and seal carving. Paintings are generally supplemented with poems, calligraphy, and the painter's signature seal. In this exhibition, we can feast our eyes on mountains, rivers, waterfalls, streams, houses, and various animals.
whether it is Prikuti or Orniku from Nepal, who had helped us a great in spreading the culture of Nepal to all over China, and establishing the diplomatic relation between Nepal and China throughout the centuries. Though Nepal and China is separated by the high Himalayas, also played an important role in our exhibition. As we can see in this exhibition, most of the paintings are based on the Himalayan nature and the culture. So these artworks in this exhibition has helped us to establish the relationship between China and Nepal across the borders. We have altogether 104 paintings in this exhibition, in which we have altogether 60 paintings from China, in which there are 15 artists, and there are altogether 44 paintings of Nepalese artists. Nepal Academy of Fine Art has been working as an umbrella organization for the artists, researchers, and critics since 1930, promoting art culture through different activities like exhibition, workshops, seminars, research, and trainings. Being one of the organizers, along with China Culture Center and Silk Road Alliance, I hope this exhibition will play a significant role in fostering and enhancing the bond between China and Nepal.
The Russia-Ukraine conflict escalated as Ukraine launched an underwater drone attack on 2 Russian oil tankers in the Black Sea. In response, Russian President Vladimir Putin condemned the attack as an act of piracy and warned of cutting off all maritime communications with Ukraine if such strikes continue. He also threatened retaliation against ships from nations supporting Ukraine. The attack carried out by Ukraine's security service SBU and Navy targeted the Russian tankers Virat and Kairos using Sea Baby drones. Both vessels were severely damaged, potentially disrupting Russian oil transport. The Virat and Kairos were already on Western sanctions lists, with the Kairos transporting Russian crude oil. This attack represents a significant escalation in the Black Sea conflict, with potential consequences for Russia's oil exports and global energy markets. The ongoing maritime tensions further strained relations between Russia and Ukraine, with the broader international community closely watching the developments. In a significant step towards energy independence, the European Union has secured an agreement to ban all imports of Russian gas by autumn 2027. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen hailed the move, saying she is turning that page for good.
As we slashed Russian imports of fossil fuels massively, we also cut the revenues that Russia uses to wage its war of aggression against Ukraine. We were paying to Russia 12 billion euros per month at the beginning of the war for fossil fuels. Now we're down to 1.5 billion per month, still too much. We aim to bring it down to zero.
The decision marks a decisive shift away from reliance on Russian energy sources following the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and the EU's push for energy diversification. The EU's commitment to phasing out Russian gas comes in response to the ongoing war in Ukraine and the bloc's efforts to reduce dependence on Russia for energy. This agreement is part of broader measures to secure energy alternatives and strengthen European energy security in the face of geopolitical challenges. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar highlighted the growing role of Indians abroad in reshaping the country's economic engagement with the world, speaking at the India's World Annual Conclave 2025 in New Delhi. Dr. Jaishankar pointed out that while global discussions often focus on trade, the massive impact of human mobility and overseas employment is often overlooked. He noted that India received a record $135 billion in remittances last year, nearly double the value of exports to the US, underscoring the vital role of the Indian diaspora in the country's economic growth.
Last year, remittances to India
continue as authorities battle both the ongoing floods and the search for the missing. This catastrophic flooding and landslides are part of a wider pattern of extreme weather events affecting Southeast Asia. Indonesia, an archipelago prone to natural disasters, has seen an increasing number of severe flooding incidents in recent years, exacerbated by heavy rainfall and climate change. Tensions rise between China and the UK after the British government delayed a key decision on a proposed new Chinese embassy complex in London. China's foreign ministry expressed its strong dissatisfaction, with spokesman Lin Jian voicing concerns during a regular briefing. China is deeply concerned and strongly dissatisfied with this delay, he said. The decision, originally expected this year, has now been pushed into the new year, sparking diplomatic tensions between the two nations. This development follows ongoing discussions about China's growing influence globally and its diplomatic relations with the UK. The delay in the embassy approval reflects wider geopolitical concerns and could have further implications for UK-China relations in the coming months. Thousands of people took to the streets of Paris today, marching in protest for a people's budget. Organized by CGT, FSU and Solides trade unions, the demonstration coincided with the return of the 2026 Social Security budget to the French National Assembly for review. Protesters are calling for a budget that prioritizes public welfare and social services amidst ongoing debates over government spending and economic policy. This protest highlights growing dissatisfaction in France regarding the government's fiscal policies, particularly concerning cuts to social programs. The march is part of a broader movement pushing for economic reforms that benefit the public, especially in areas like healthcare and social security. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung delivered a special address today, marking the first anniversary of the martial law declaration. He called the December 3rd coup the first of its kind in the 21st century and lauded the people's resilience in defending democracy. To honor their courage, Lee declared December 3rd as the Day of People's Sovereignty. He also suggested that South Koreans deserve a Nobel Peace Prize for their peaceful stand against the insurrection. However, he emphasized that justice is still needed, calling for the prosecution of those behind the coup and the establishment of a special court. While the National Assembly must decide, Lee stressed the importance of uncovering the full truth through further investigations. President Lee's address comes 1 year after a failed coup attempt in South Korea, highlighting the ongoing effort to hold those responsible accountable and safeguard democratic values. A group of passionate protesters gathered outside Japan's Supreme Court demanding an end to the country's ban on same-sex marriage. This follows a recent ruling by Tokyo's High Court, which declared the ban constitutional, making Japan the only G7 nation without legal protections for same-sex unions. The protests come as Japan's newly appointed conservative Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi opposes same-sex marriage. Lawyer Taijiro Ohata, speaking on behalf of the protesters, called the ruling highly unjust. This latest protest comes after the Tokyo High Court's decision in early November, which reaffirmed Japan's stance on same-sex marriage. The case has sparked a wider national debate on LGBTIQ+ rights, with opposition from conservative leaders like Prime Minister Takaichi, who took office in early October. The issue remains a hot topic in Japan's ongoing discussions about human rights and equality. Australia's government has announced a looming social media ban aimed at protecting under-16s from the dangers of online addiction. Communication Minister Anika Wells described the move as essential for safeguarding Generation Alpha from predatory algorithms, referring to them as behavioral cocaine, a term coined by the creator of the controversial feature. The government's decision marks a significant step in addressing the growing concerns over social media's impact on young people. This initiative comes amid increasing global concern over the effects of social media on children and teenagers. Australia's proposed action follows similar moves by other countries looking to limit social media exposure to minors in response to mounting evidence of its impact on mental health and well-being. Kegoretile Afane, one of the first South Africans to receive lenacapavir, a groundbreaking HIV treatment, has shared her thoughts on the new medication. Lenacapavir, taken just twice a year, has been shown to reduce the risk of HIV transmission by more than 99.9%.
Really, I didn't come here to take this medicine. I was just visiting a clinic. So they introduced this thing, a drug, HIV, minimizing HIV and AIDS drug. So then I got interested and let me try it just to be on a safe side. We might know what's going to happen in the world. So I'd rather be safe than be sorry.
Lena Kupavir represents a significant step forward in HIV treatment, particularly in communities like South Africa, which has one of the highest HIV infection rates in the world. The new drug's twice-a-year injection schedule is expected to make HIV prevention and management more accessible and less stigmatized. Myanmar's military forces, in coordination with the Border Guard Force BGF, demolished a 12-story building in the Shui Koko Special Economic Zone today, targeting a major scam operation linked to Chinese organized crime. At 12:30 p.m. local time, a powerful explosion reduced the riverfront tower to rubble, with the blast visible across the Thai border. The demolition is part of a broader crackdown on transnational crime in the region. Meanwhile, Thai authorities continued their repatriation efforts, transferring the third batch of 300 Chinese nationals suspected of involvement in these scam operations onto charter flights bound for China. A total of 1,208 suspects are set to be deported over the next few days, as China has arranged 6 charter flights daily for this purpose. The Shui Koko Special Economic Zone has become notorious for being a hub of illegal activities, including fraud and human trafficking, particularly involving Chinese nationals. Myanmar's crackdown, in collaboration with Thailand, signals a major effort to dismantle these operations. The demolition of the building is a highly visible symbol of Myanmar's commitment to ending organized crime in the area. Bangkok is grappling with a major air pollution spike as fine particulate matter PM2.5 levels exceed safety standards across the city. As of 7 a.m., PM2.5 levels averaged 47.1 micrograms per cubic meter, surpassing the national safe limit of 37.5 micrograms per cubic meter. The Air Quality Information Center has classified 62 areas in the orange zone, signaling levels high enough to pose health risks. Districts like Bangrok and Sathon recorded the highest readings, with levels of 59.4 and 58.8 micrograms per cubic meter. In response, Bangkok Governor Chad Chart Sittipund has urged residents to work from home on December 4 to reduce traffic and lower pollution. The pollution crisis is spreading beyond the capital, with 21 provinces, including Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai and Chonburi, also reporting unhealthy air quality. The forecast for December 4 to 10 indicates that PM2.5 levels will likely continue rising, with only southern regions expected to maintain good air quality. Bangkok's worsening air quality has become a recurring problem in recent years, exacerbated by factors such as traffic congestion, industrial emissions and seasonal burning. Their latest spike highlights ongoing concerns about air pollution's impact on public health, with both local and regional authorities taking steps to mitigate the crisis. In Gaza's Khan Yunis, a heartwarming celebration of hope and resilience unfolded as 54 Palestinian couples exchanged vows in a mass wedding organized by the United Arab Emirates. Amid the ruins of war-torn buildings, crowds waved UAE flags in solidarity, marking a moment of joy in the midst of devastation. The initiative, titled The Dress of Joy, was a special tribute to the UAE's 54th National Day. One groom shared his emotions. After everything they've endured, the war, the destruction, it's indescribable to feel that they can rejoice again and start a new life. This mass wedding serves as a symbol of resilience and a powerful message of rebuilding amidst tragedy. The event is also testament to the UAE's continued support for Palestinian communities in the Gaza Strip. U.S. actress Sarah Paulson, known for her Emmy and Golden Globe winning performances, has been honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in Los Angeles. Reflecting on the achievement, Paulson shared, "It signals not only to her but to every dreamer out there that dreams can come true." In her work, seeking meaning in human connection has truly mattered. The star marks a major milestone in her illustrious career. Sarah Paulson's career spans both television and film, with notable roles in American Horror Story and The People vs. O.J. Simpson. The Walk of Fame star celebrates her contributions to the entertainment industry and her ability to captivate audiences with her powerful performances.
A reflection of biodiversity along with nature and culture. A view of the silver-like shining mountain range right before your eyes. A chronicle of the rituals and traditions of Kirati people from creation to civilization and the present day. A unique tourist trail in Nepal filled with natural beauty, the Mundum Trail. Mundum Trail is a uniquely identified trekking route in Nepal filled with natural beauty. The trail is an excellent tourist destination for trekkers who want to enjoy the culture and traditions of various ethnic groups while observing natural beauty. The Mundum Trail was identified as a new trekking route with the aim of promoting tourism in Khotang, Bhojpur, Sangkhwa Sabha and Solukhumbu regions of eastern Nepal. The specialty of the Mundum Trail is trekking while observing the tall mountain ranges, high hills and beautiful views of the flat plains of Tarai. Since it is connected to the culture of the Kirati people, this trail is named after the Mundum rites of Kirat Rais. Various structures reflecting the culture and traditions of the Kirat Rais built around the trail. Large grassy meadows and yaks and sheep herds raised by local herdsmen highlight the speciality of the trek. Dishes reflecting the identity of ethnic groups like Kirat Rai, Sherpa, Tamang and others, local organic food produced by herdsmen, various types of vegetation and precious herbs can be found during the Mundum trek. The trail is a total of 107 kilometers long. Both domestic and international visitors say the rivers originating from Mahabharat mountain range, forests covered in rhododendrons, rare and endangered wildlife and plants, and animal husbandry by hard-working farmers captivates their hearts. The Mundum Trail, where one can trek through the hills with the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, at its head, is a precious gift from nature. It's a trek where one can escape the heat of the Tarai, enjoy natural beauty, reveling in the sweet sounds of birds and connecting with endangered plants, making the experience all unique. As there is heavy snowfall in winter, the number of tourists trekking and playing in the snow along the Mundum Trail witnesses a surge every season. The Mundum Trail is connected to religion, culture, rituals and lifestyle of entire Kirat community. Mundum itself means the Kirat culture, rituals and the daily life of Kirati people or Kirat knowledge. And the concept of Mundum Trail is also about introducing the culture, lifestyle and history of the Kirati people to the world, familiarizing them with the community. The journey along the trail, which spreads through uphills and downhills, offers close-up views of more than 24 beautiful mountain ranges. That includes Nuptse, Everest, Lhotse, Makalu, Kanchenjunga and Kumbhakarna. They all delight every traveler. The Mundum trek starts from Dawa Bhanjang in Diktel, Sakaila rural municipality of Khotang, and Bhojpur Bazar in Bhojpur. Most tourists start their journey on this trail from Chakhema Bhanjang in Temki Moying rural municipality, Bhojpur. The trek starting from Chakhewa Bhanjang is a gift of biodiversity, culture and nature. The trail is also a tourist area listed among the 100 must-visit destinations selected by the government of Nepal. Temke Dada is an excellent tourist destination near the starting point of the Mundum Trail. It lies on the border of Bhojpur and Khotang. It is located at an altitude of about 3,032 meters above sea level and is a flat plateau on top of a single hill. The history of Temke Dada is also linked to Kirati civilization. Temke Dada is a habitat for various species of trees like jamb, rhododendron and chimal, as well as endangered wildlife such as red panda, ghorol and thar. Various places in Koshi province can be clearly seen from Temke Dada. From here, one can have a panoramic view of dozens of mountain ranges, including the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, Makalu, Kanchenjunga and Gauri Shankar. Apart from that, from Temke Dada, one can watch the sunrise and sunset. And when the weather is clear, one can even see the cities of Sikkim, Darjeeling, Kalimpong, Siliguri in India and cities in Bhutan. The Kirati people perform special worship on full moons of Baisakh. In this area, precious herbs, locally called Chiraito, Majito, Thulo Okhete, Pakhanbed, Nagbeli, Ban Karela, Muse Karela and Satua are found in abundance. Another major attraction of Temke Dada is the rhododendron. During blooming season, the forest in this area becomes vibrant red with fully bloomed flowers. After a hike and exploration of Temke Hill, surrounded by beautiful nature, one reaches Dhotre Deorali in about 6 hours. During the journey to Dhodre, trekkers enjoy nature's embrace, marvel at various rock formations and relish the trek while connecting with the high hills. At Dhotre Deorali, there are arrangements for food and lodging for tourists. Leaving Dhotre and moving forward on the trek, various structures have been built targeting the culture and traditions of Kirati people to attract tourists. The Mundum Trail's construction began with a 35% investment from Koshi provincial government, 35% from Swiss government and 30% from the local government. Along this entire trail, rest stops, drinking water taps and stone platforms have been built for tourists. 15 ponds in the shape of a chindo, which is a traditional Rai vessel reflecting Kirat Rai culture, have also been constructed. This is a place where shamans have walked, a place of tantric power and an extremely scenic area. Mundum is the name of a Kirat scripture. The trail is named after this sacred name. This trail, which integrates various aspects of Kirati civilization, culture, history and life from Silichung to Mayung and then to Temke, and from Temke to Kualung and Tuachung, proceeds along the ridge of Mahabharat mountain range. Another special beauty of the Mundum Trail is Has Pokhari. Located at an altitude of 3,333 meters above sea level, Has Pokhari is a special destination that should not be missed during the trek. At the edge of Has Pokhari, a statue of Sumnima and Paruhang has been erected. According to Kirat Mundum, Sumnima and Paruhang are the creators of this universe. The gentle fragrance of various species of flowers blooming in the grassy meadows captivates every tourist visiting Has Pokhari. The rhododendrons that bloom in season in the Has Pokhari area make one feel like staying in the vicinity of the pond forever. During their journey to Has Pokhari, travelers can observe at least 16 species of rhododendrons that bloom during the spring season. Another important destination of the Mundum Trail is Mayung Dada. Located in Temke Mayung Rural Municipality of Bhojpur, Mayung Dada is a beautiful place with tourism potential. The journey to Mayung Dada, which is at an altitude of about 3,600 meters above sea level, takes place through the middle of a very smooth meadow. During this journey, any tourist with the melodious sound of music wishes to be immersed in the glory of beautiful nature, even if for a short while. The Mayung area is also a special observation point for horses. The attraction of horses roaming freely under the open sky is another unmissable feature of Mayung Dada. The Mayung area, which is connected to the neighboring district of Khotang, has a balanced climate, not as cold as the Himalayas, nor as hot as the Tarai. The Mayung area is also a habitat for the globally endangered red panda. During the Mayung journey, adorned with biodiversity and nature, one can enjoy the rhododendrons that bloom vibrantly across the hillsides in the spring. One can sit on various mystical hills and move forward with the cool breeze, mountain views, and by cherishing the natural beauty in their heart and soul. The blooming chap, rhododendron and sunakhari flowers in the months of Falgun, Chaitra and Baisakh captivate the hearts of tourists. The ever-changing weather and the view of the mountain range right before the eyes can make one feel a heavenly bliss on earth when one steps on Mayung Dada. From Mayung Dada, most of the hilly districts of eastern Nepal as well as the high hill plains and villages of Nepal and India look as if they are in the palm of one's hand, making one want to keep watching. When the crimson rays of early morning sun touch the mountains on the other side, the joy of kissing the heights is immeasurable. From Mayung Dada, one can also view more than 24 beautiful Himalayan peaks. This includes Charbate, Mera Peak, Nuptse, Everest, Lhotse, Lhotse Sar, Makalu, Kanchenjunga and Kumbhakarna. Travelers say is less tiring and also does not give one altitude sickness. The trail located in the Mayung region is considered excellent, given the Laliguras trail of the TMJ region or the Tinjure, Milke, Jaljale area and the Khapta trail of the west. On the Mundum trek, after passing through Chakhewa Bhanjang, Mayung Dada has Pokhari, Satobato, Laure Bhir, Rawathap and Salpa Bhanjang. On the fourth day of the journey, one reaches the famous pilgrimage site Salpa Pokhari. Salpa Pokhari is situated at an altitude of 3,400 meters above sea level and is considered by the Kirati people as their ancestral place of origin. Kirati people hold a belief that one must visit Salpa Pokhari at least once in their lifetime. Hence, during Udholi and Ubholi full moons, many pilgrims visit Salpa Pokhari, a place filled with religious faith and natural beauty. Salpa Pokhari, known as the confluence of 4 districts, Khotang, Solukhumbu, Bhojpur and Sankhwa Sabha, is a place of natural beauty. Salpa Pokhari is located in Dobhani village of Salpa Silichung rural municipality in Bhojpur. It can be reached via the Mundum trail, passing through Dikdel in Khotang, Lal Kharka and Mayung Dada. However, there are other routes to reach Salpa Pokhari as well. It is said that Tenzing Norgay Sherpa and Edmund Hillary used the route through Salpa Pokhari during their first ascent of Mount Everest. Salpa Pokhari is also a multi-religious center of faith, as apart from Kiratis, various ethnic groups, including Hindus and Buddhists, hold fairs at this place 4 times a year. There is a religious belief that people who are born unable to speak can start speaking after being dipped in the waters of this pond, and childless couples are blessed with children after visiting Salpa Pokhari. Silichung Dada with Salpa Pokuri as its base camp is an important destination for tourists trekking the Mundum Trail. Tourists who reach Salpa often make a return trip to the summit of Silichung Dada, which stands at an altitude of 4,100 meters. Specially considered a significant center of religious faith for the Kirati people, from the Silichung Peak one can easily view the Himalayan range as well as the flat plains of the Tarai. From Silichung, 6 Himalayan peaks including Everest, Makalu, Kanchenjunga, Kumbhakarna and Mera Peak can be seen right before one's eyes. The Salpa Silichung Peak, the highest point in the religiously and touristically significant district of Bhojpur, is established as the tallest among Temke Dada and Moyung Dada. There is a popular belief that wishes are fulfilled after visiting and offering prayers at the peak of Silichung. Silichung Peak is located on the border of Bhojpur and Sankhwa Sabha districts. It is useful not only for anchoring one's religious faith, but also for savoring the unique blend of nature and culture. From the peak of Silichung, one can directly see Salpa Pokhari to the south and the villages of Solukhumbu, Sankhwa Sabha and Bhojpur. The valley and plains formed by the Arun River, which flows through Bhojpur and Sankhwa Sabha, can be easily viewed from this area. From Silichung, one can also enjoy panoramic views of the sunrise and sunset. At sunrise, a captivating view of mist in the Arun Valley can be seen from this spot. When the weather is clear, climbing Silichung Peak brings a feeling of heavenly bliss. The Silichung area is as naturally beautiful as it is culturally significant. In recent times, Kirat, Hindu and Buddhist followers have come to regard Silichung Peak as a common pilgrimage site. A large number of shamans gather here during the full moons of Bhadra, Kartik and Baisakh. Shamans in particular ascend Silichung to gain power and knowledge. The fragrance of the extremely aromatic bhairung, sunpati and other fragrant herbs and flowers found around Silichung makes the stay there even more pleasant. There is a Mundum myth that Kirati people gain power from this area, envisioning it as the place where the world was created, starting from the hearth, the main pillar, the main door, the eaves, the flower garden, the resting place, and the final water source, while praying to their ancestors for divine power. Upon reaching this point, the Mundum trek can be considered complete for the time being. The Mundum Trail is an excellent destination for tourists who want to get close to the Himalayas and enjoy their beauty. The hundreds of types of flowers and birds seen during the Mundum trek make the journey even more interesting. The path is completely covered with the national flower rhododendron in various colors. Being a confluence of nature, culture, and Kirati civilization, tourists get to taste a sweet flavor during the Mundum trek. People of all age groups can undertake this trek. On both sides of the trail, the language, religion, rituals, and culture, as well as the lifestyle of 10 different Kirati-speaking Rai groups are vibrant. This region contains descriptions of the Kirati people from their creation to their civilization, their migration, various activities and rituals and traditions from birth to death. During this journey, one can truly feel a spiritual connection with their ancestors and with those who have passed. Locals have added new dimensions of tourism to the Mundum Trail. Along with homestays, one can also experience goat stays, which is staying in a herder's shed during the Mundum trek. Local herders warmly welcome the trekkers. This trail of indigenous civilization has recently emerged in the tourism world as a top cultural destination. Therefore, developing the Mundum Trail, an exceptional confluence of nature and culture, into a model destination, for recreation and study for both domestic and international visitors has become a pressing priority.
चारैतिर हरियाली नै हरियालीको बीचमा चराचुरुङ्गीहरू बात मार्दै गरेका, हावाले संगीत भर्दै गरेको अनि माटोले आत्मीयता देखाएको यो पावन भूमि हो दक्षिणकाली। काठमाडौँ उपत्यकाबाट 18 किलोमिटरको दूरीमा रहेको दक्षिणकाली हिन्दू अनि बौद्ध धर्मावलम्बीका लागि विशेष ठाउँ हो। हिन्दू धर्मका प्रख्यात गुरु गोरखनाथ र बौद्ध धर्मका प्रख्यात गुरु रिम्पोछे अर्थात् पद्म सम्भवले ध्यान गरेको र सिद्धि प्राप्त गरेको यो विशेष भूमि हो। यो यही भूमि हो जहाँ माता दक्षिणकाली वास गर्नुहुन्छ। त्यसैले त यहाँको हावा र माटोले आकर्षित गर्छ, मधुरता दिन्छ। यो ठाउँमा पाइला टेक्नुले मात्र पनि ऊर्जा प्रदान गर्छ, जीवन सफल भएको आभास हुन्छ। कमलको फूलबाट अलौकिक रूपमा जन्म भएको मानिएका पद्म सम्भव, जसलाई तिब्बती भाषामा गुरु रिम्पोछे भनिन्छ, उनी गुरुले ध्यान गरेर सिद्धि प्राप्त गरेको ठाउँ फर्पिङ दक्षिणकालीमै छ। भनिन्छ बुद्ध धर्मका ज्ञाता पद्म सम्भव तिब्बतमा बुद्ध धर्मको जग बसाल्न जाँदै गर्दा धेरै वर्ष नेपालको फर्पिङमा बस्नुभयो। यो असुरा गुफा हो। गुरु पद्म सम्भवले ध्यान र साधना गरी सिद्धि प्राप्त गरेको ठाउँ। फर्पिङ बजारबाट दायाँ लागि केही उकालो हिँडेपछि गुफा पुग्ने भर्याङ देख्न सकिन्छ। अनगिन्ती सिँढीहरू चढेर गुफा पुगेपछि छुट्टै आनन्द आउँछ। विशाल चट्टानभित्र सानो कोठा छ जहाँ पद्म सम्भवको मूर्ति राखिएको छ र दीप प्रज्वलन गरिएको छ। अनि छेवैमा एक लामा मन्त्र उच्चारण गरी ध्यानमा लीन हुनुहुन्छ। आन्तरिक पर्यटकहरू नदेखिएको यो ठाउँमा विदेशी पर्यटकहरू पनि आउँदा रहेछन्। विशेष गरी चीन, ताइवान, मंगोलिया र भुटान लगायतका देशबाट यहाँ भ्रमणका लागि आउने गर्दछन्। यो बौद्ध मार्गीको एक पवित्र तीर्थस्थल हो जहाँको भ्रमण बिना तीर्थाटन अधुरो हुने गर्दछ। यही शिलामा हातका ठ्याक्कै 5 औंलाको डाम छ। स्थानीयका अनुसार यो हातको डाम गुरु पद्म सम्भवका शिष्यको हो। भूलवश हातको डाम रहन गएपछि ती शिष्य पश्चातापमा गएको भनाइ छ। यसै गरी अर्को एउटा भनाइ पनि प्रख्यात छ जसले यो हातको डाम गुरु पद्म सम्भवकै भएको बताउँछ। त्यसैले त यहाँ आउने पर्यटकहरू यहाँ आफ्नो हात राखेर पद्म सम्भवसँग ऊर्जा र आशीर्वाद माग्छन्। इतिहासमा पद्म सम्भवलाई अलौकिक शक्ति मानिन्छ। जसले नकारात्मक ऊर्जा सजिलै परास्त गरी न्याय र शान्ति प्रदान गर्ने विश्वास गरिन्छ। यही गुफासँगै गुरु गोरखनाथको पाइला पनि रहेको छ। गुरु पद्म सम्भव ध्यान र साधनाका लागि यता आउनु भएको थाहा पाएर हिन्दू धर्मका प्रख्यात गुरु गोरखनाथ पनि यो ठाउँ केही वर्ष बसी ध्यान गरेर जानु भएको हो भन्ने भनाइ छ। गुफाका सिँढीहरू झर्दै गर्दा शिलामा स्वयं उत्पन्न भएको मानिएको गणेश र सरस्वतीको मूर्ति पनि छ। एउटा सानो कुण्ड अनि त्यसमाथि कमलको फूल यस्तै स्वरूप बनाएर पद्म सम्भवको गजबको ठूलो मूर्ति राखिएको छ। विभिन्न भाव भङ्गिमामा रहेको पद्म सम्भवको प्रतिमा निकै नै सजीव देखिन्छ। यहाँ बसेर मजाले ध्यान गर्न सकिन्छ। यो ठाउँ अलौकिक शक्तिले भरिएको आभास हुन्छ। जो कोहीको अस्थिर मन पनि यहाँ शान्त बन्न सक्छ। यो असुरा गुफा र फर्पिङमै रहेको याङ्लेश्वर गुफा गुरु पद्म सम्भवले आवत जावतका लागि प्रयोग गर्न गरिएको पनि स्थानीय विश्वास छ। यहाँ पनि पद्म सम्भवको सानो मूर्ति राखिएको छ र दीप प्रज्वलित गरिएको छ। यहाँ रहेको चट्टानको बीचमा टाउको अड्याउन मिल्ने ठाउँ छ, जहाँ टाउको राखेमा आनन्द प्राप्ति हुने स्थानीयको विश्वास छ। यो यही परिसर हो जहाँ शेष नारायणको मन्दिर छ। यो उपत्यकाको 4 नारायण मध्ये एक हो। दिशंखु नारायण, इचंगु नारायण, चांगु नारायण र शेष नारायण काठमाडौँ उपत्यकाका 4 प्रमुख नारायण मन्दिरहरू हुन्। यही मन्दिरको ठिक माथि चट्टानमा विभिन्न आकृतिहरू देख्न पाइन्छ, जसलाई भक्तजनहरू विभिन्न रूप मानेर श्रद्धा गर्छन्। कामधेनु गाईको थुन, गणेश अनि शेषनागको आकृतिका रूपमा देखिने यी स्वरूपहरूमाथि भक्तजनहरूको गहिरो विश्वास छ। यसै मन्दिर प्रवेश स्थलमा एउटा सानो कुण्ड पनि छ, जहाँ ससानादेखि ठूलठूला असला र रङ्गी बिरङ्गी माछाहरू छन्। यहाँ केही जोडी कछुवा पनि छन्। यस कुण्डमा बौद्ध मार्गीहरूले आफ्ना मनोकांक्षा पूरा भएको खुशियालीमा रङ्गी बिरङ्गी माछाहरू छोड्ने गर्दछन्। अनि यिनै माछाहरू हेर्न यहाँ ससाना बालबालिकादेखि ठूलासम्म आउने गर्दछन्। यहाँ आनन्दको अनुभव गर्दै ध्यानमा लीन हुनेहरूको पनि कमी छैन। यहाँको अर्को विशेष भनेको वज्रयोगिनी मन्दिर हो। वज्रयोगिनी एक तान्त्रिक देवी हुनुहुन्छ। वज्रयाना र महायानामा वज्रयोगिनीको स्थान उच्च छ। समृद्ध र सुखी जीवनयापनको मनोकामना राख्दै भक्तजनहरू यहाँ आउने गर्दछन्। साथै ज्ञान प्राप्तिका लागि यस ठाउँको भ्रमण गर्नेहरू पनि धेरै छन्। आशाका दीपहरू बलिरहेका खुशीका स्वरहरू गुन्जिरहेका यी ठाउँहरू साँच्चै विशिष्ट छन्। यसै विशिष्टताको अर्को नाम हो दक्षिणकाली मन्दिर। यो मन्दिरमा विभिन्न मनोकामना राखेर दर्शन गर्न आउनेहरूको भिड नै लाग्ने गर्दछ। यहाँ विशेष गरी शनिबार, मंगलबार र बिहीबार भिड लाग्ने गर्दछ। दशैंमा यहाँ विशेष पूजा हुने गर्दछ। यहाँ छिमेकी मुलुक भारतबाट पनि दर्शनार्थीहरू आउने गर्छन्। यहाँ आउने भक्तजनका लागि पनि खाजा, नास्ता अनि पूजा सामग्रीका पसलहरू राखिएका छन्। यही मन्दिरको ठिक माथि माताको मन्दिर छ, जुन दक्षिणकालीको माताको हो भनिन्छ।
दक्षिणकाली नगरपालिका आर्थिक रूपमा अलि विपन्न हो, तर सांस्कृतिक ऐतिहासिक थलोको रूपमा चाहिँ दक्षिणकाली नगरपालिका धनी नगरपालिकाको रूपमा पर्छ। उदाहरणको लागि माता दक्षिणकालीको मन्दिर पुर्खौँदेखि चाहिँ दक्षिणकाली माताको आशीर्वाद लिने भक्तजनहरूको प्रशस्त मात्रामा चाहिँ आगमन पाइन्छ। प्राचीन दक्षिणकाली, जहाँ माता दक्षिणकाली पहिला त्यहाँ उहाँको वासस्थान, पछि चाहिँ किम्वदन्ती अनुसार पछि तल सरेको भन्ने खालको जुन छ, त्यो मन्दिर पनि एकदमै अत्यन्त सुन्दर बनिसकेको छ। र असुरा गुफाबाट मास्तिर जाँदाखेरि सिँढी माथिसम्मै जोडिएको छ र त्यहाँ पानीको केही व्यवस्था पनि छ, सबै कुरा व्यवस्था छ र त्यहाँ पनि नहेरी नहुने ठाउँको रूपमा छ। विदेशी पर्यटकहरू अहिले पनि हालसाल पनि आइराख्नु भएको, सधैँभरि आउने बुद्ध मार्गीहरूको पवित्र भूमि, गुरु रुम्बुचेले तपस्या सिद्धि गरेको थलो असुरा गुफादेखि लिएर चाहिँ पवित्र यहाँ चाहिँ बुद्ध मार्गीहरूको मठ मन्दिर भएको कारणले यहाँ हिन्दू मात्र नभइकन बुद्ध मार्गीहरूको पनि प्रशस्त यहाँ सम्भावना छ, आइराख्नु भएको छ। अझ थपेर आउनको लागि पनि यहाँ चाहिँ उहाँहरूलाई बसोबासको लागि बुद्ध मार्गीहरूले वासस्थानको पनि राम्रो व्यवस्था मिलाइराखेको छ। र यहाँ आइसकेपछि असुरा गुफा र धेरै यस्ता चाहिँ मठ मन्दिरहरू, बुद्ध मार्गीहरूको मठ मन्दिरहरू भएको ठाउँ भएको कारणले यहाँहरूको टेलिभिजन मार्फत पनि यो कुरालाई उजागर गरिदिन सक्यो भने पर्यटकहरू अवश्य पनि कहाँ घुमौँ, कहाँ जाँदा राम्रो हुन्छ भन्ने अन्यल भइराखेको बेलामा दक्षिणकाली एउटा चाहिँ पर्यटकको लागि गन्तव्य स्थल हो भन्ने कुरा अलिकति हामी कार्यक्रम मार्फत पनि दिन सक्यौँ भने त्यो बढ्छ।
खासमा दक्षिणकाली मन्दिर यहाँ भन्दा फरक ठाउँमा थियो। फर्पिङको माथि जंगलमा रहेको दक्षिणकाली मन्दिर जानेहरू हराउन थालेपछि त्यस बेलाका राजा प्रताप मल्ललाई दक्षिणकाली माताले आफूलाई हाल रहेको ठाउँमा सारिदिनु भन्ने सपनामा देखाएपछि हालको ठाउँमा मन्दिर बनाइ सारिएको भन्ने कथन छ।
राजा प्रताप मल्लको राज्यकाल भन्दा पनि धेरै पहिला त्यस अवस्थाको मूर्ति फर्पिङ सहर शिखरको घना जङ्गलमा थियो। त्यहाँ मान्छेहरू जान डराउने र हराउने के, मान्छे जस्तै 100 जना गयो कि 1 जना हराउने के। त्यो भएपछि राजा प्रताप मल्ललाई साक्षात कि दक्षिणकाली देवी सपनामा प्रकट भएर मलाई यो अप्रकाशित मूर्ति थियो त्यतिखेर, मलाई प्रकाशित मूर्तिमा प्राण प्रतिष्ठा गरेर दुई नदीको सङ्गम चौक जस्तै पूर्णावती गङ्गा र उदारवती गङ्गाको बिचमा मलाई विराजमान गर र त्यस अवस्थामा प्रताप मल्लको पालामा महामारीको भय थियो के त्यो भय पनि निवारण हुन्छ भनेर अनि प्रताप मल्लले दक्षिणकालीको मूर्ति स्थापना गराएको थियो। अब मूर्ति स्थापना गराउँदा पहिला मूर्ति बनाउँदाखेरि त्यो प्राण प्रतिष्ठा गर्दाखेरि त्यस मूर्तिमा प्राण प्रतिष्ठा भएन। त्यो मूर्ति अहिले हनुमान ढोकामा छ। अनि त्यसपछि दोस्रो फेरि प्राण प्रतिष्ठा गरेर गुरु लमकर्ण भट्टले विधिका सारेन अब जस्तै नरबली सर्प सब बलि सहित प्राण प्रतिष्ठा गरेर यहाँ विराजमान गराएको हो। जस्तै यहाँ नजिकै मुसान पनि छ। अनि देवीको दायाँबाट क्रमशः गणेश, भैरव, ब्रह्मायनी, महेश्वरी, कुमारी, वैष्णवी, बाराई, इन्द्रायणी, चामुण्डा बीचमा दक्षिणकालीमा विराजमान हुनुहुन्छ। यहाँ प्रत्येक चाहिँ अब भिड हुने चाहिँ शनिबार, मङ्गलबार, बिहिबार हो। अब दसैँमा त भन्नै परेन। अनि यहाँ विशेष पूजा चाहिँ वर्षको दुईचोटि हुन्छ महापूजा, वैशाख बढी 13 रोज र अनि भाद्र कृष्ण अष्टमीमा हुने गर्दछ। अब कोही मान्छेको भाकल पुरा भएर आउँछन्, कोही मेरो भाकल पुरा होस् भनेर आउँछन् हैन। यहाँ अब देश विदेश पूर्व मेचीदेखि पश्चिम महाकालीसम्मको मान्छेहरू आउँछन्। अहिले त यातायातको सुविधा झन् बढी भएको कारण पहिलाभन्दा यहाँ धेरै अब यात्रुहरूको चाप पनि बढी छ। अब दक्षिणकाली आमाले सबैको इच्छा, मनको इच्छा पुरा गरेकोले नै यहाँ मान्छेहरू आउने गर्दछ। एउटा आस्था त हो हाम्रो हैन।
यहाँको अर्को धार्मिक तथा ऐतिहासिक रूपमा प्रख्यात ठाउँ हो कटुवाल दह। झोलुङ्गे पुलबाट यो दह पुग्न सकिन्छ। दह भनिए पनि यो ठाउँ खोला बनेको छ। सम्भवतः यो ठाउँ कुनै समयमा दह भएको र कालान्तरमा खोलामा परिणत भएको हुन सक्छ। यहाँ सङ्कटाको सानो मन्दिर पनि छ। यो दहको जल रातो मच्छिन्द्रनाथको जात्रा सुरुवात गर्न अनिवार्य छ। किंवदन्ती अनुसार भारतको आसामबाट रातो मच्छिन्द्रनाथलाई नेपाल ल्याएपछि सुरुमा यही बिसाएर जल चढाइएको थियो। गर्मीमा शीतलता दिने यो ठाउँ आनन्ददायी छ। यहाँको चिसो हावाले मन शान्त पार्नुका साथै ऊर्जा पनि प्रदान गर्छ। यो गोपालेश्वर मन्दिर हो। यहाँ महादेवको ठूलो शिला रहेको छ। तीनतले प्यागोडा शैलीमा निर्माण भएको यो मन्दिर गोपाल वंशमा निर्माण भएको इतिहासमा उल्लेख छ। यसै मन्दिरमा कृष्णले आफ्नो भान्जाको व्रतबन्ध गरेको पनि विश्वास गरिन्छ। यहाँ रहेको चम्पादेवी डाँडा र भस्मासुर डाँडा पदयात्राका लागि एक आकर्षक गन्तव्य हो। चम्पादेवी काठमाडौँ उपत्यका वरिपरि रहेका अग्ला डाँडाहरूमध्ये तेस्रो अग्लो डाँडा हो। यो घना जंगलले घेरिएको छ र यहाँबाट सुन्दर हिम श्रृङ्खलाहरू देख्न सकिन्छ। प्रकृतिको नजिकमा रही आनन्द लिनका लागि दक्षिणकाली एक उत्कृष्ट गन्तव्य हो। त्यसैले त यहाँ रहेका करिब 200 वटा गुम्बा लगायतमा अध्यात्म तथा ध्यान केन्द्रहरू खोलिएका छन्, जहाँ राष्ट्रिय तथा अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय व्यक्तित्वहरू ध्यानका लागि आउने गर्छन्।
हाम्रो यहाँ लोकल ग्राहकदेखि बाहिर टुरिस्टहरू, इन्टरनेसनल ग्राहकदेखि सबैजना आउनुहुन्छ। यहाँ चाहिँ नजिक चाहिँ दक्षिणकाली परेको हुनाले र अर्को हाम्रो चाहिँ बुद्धिस्टको चाहिँ पनि ठुलो तीर्थस्थल भएको भएर दुवै सबैजना आउनुहुन्छ। कोही चाहिँ 1-2 दिन पनि बस्छन्, कोही 1 दिन मात्र शुक्रबार प्राय बस्नु भएर शनिबार दर्शन गरेर जानेहरू पनि हुन्छन् भनेदेखि कोही चाहिँ 6-7 दिन बस्ने, कोही 10-15 दिन बस्नेहरू पनि हुन्छन्।
यहाँ घुम्न आउने पर्यटकका लागि खाजा, खाना तथा बास बस्न होमस्टे तथा होटलहरू पनि रहेका छन्। ठुलठुला रिजोर्टदेखि ससाना खाजा पसलहरू रहेकाले यो ठाउँ पर्यटकका लागि सहज छ।
मेरो लगभग 1 वर्ष जति भयो। सधैँ आइन्छ। अब यसो कहिलेकाहीँ यताउता काम पर्यो भने बाहिर हिँडिन्छ, नत्र त प्राय यहीँ हो सधैँ। यहाँ अब शनिबार र पब्लिक होलिडेमा अलिअलि हो, नत्र अरू बार यस्तै नर्मल 500-700 200-400 जे होस् सर्भाइभ हुनलाई भइरहेछ, टाइम पास भइरहेछ। आफ्नै घर नजिक पनि भयो, आफ्नै ठाउँमा केही गरेर खान पनि पाइयो नि त।
दक्षिणकाली नास्पाती र लप्सीका लागि विशेष प्रख्यात छ। दक्षिणकालीको नास्पाती र लप्सी भन्ने बित्तिकै जो कोहीको पनि मुख रसाउँछ। यहाँका खेत बारीहरूमा नास्पाती र लप्सीका रुखहरूले घर बनाएका छन्। एक समान ठडिएका यी रुखहरूमा रहरलाग्दो पाराले नास्पाती फलिरहेका छन् अनि लप्सी पनि। यी लप्सीको यहाँ मिठो क्यान्डी बन्ने गर्छ। केही अमिलो अनि केही गुलियो हुने यी क्यान्डीले धेरैको मुख मिठो बनाएको छ।
लौसी हामीले बोटमै किन्छौँ, बोटै लिएर खेताल लगाएर उ गर्छौँ होइन। अरू यही सामान बनाउने हो। पहिला लौसी झार्ने सिजनमा यस्तो हुन्छ, हामीले कात्तिकको लास्टदेखि सुरु गर्छौँ। कात्तिकको लास्टदेखि पुससम्म। त्योभन्दा अगाडि अलिकति गुदीभरि आउँदैन होइन। त्यो बेला सुरु गरेपछि तल उसिन्ने ताख्ने काम नै भइरहेको हुन्छ, यहाँ काम नै भइरहेको हुन्छ। दार्जिलिङ पनि जान्छ अहिले चाहिँ प्राय सर्लाहीतिर, अनि पोखरा बढी, अनि काठमाडौँ बढी। काठमाडौँ अनि मेरो यही लोकल बजारमा नि रहेछ। म आफै किन्छु नास्पातीहरू नि, अनि प्राय अलिक ठुला छानेर काठमाडौँ नै बेच्छौँ हामी। काठमाडौँमा अलिक ठुला बेच्छ, अनि तराईतिर इन्डियातिर चाहिँ अलिक ठिक यत्र साइजको पठाउँछौँ। हामी 6 जना छौँ। पहिला त 8-9 जनै छौँ, बच्चाहरू छोरीहरू व्यवहार गयो। अहिले राम्रै छ।
यहाँ धान रोप्दै गरेका किसानहरू भेटिन्छन्, जिम्बु लाउँदै गरेका किसानहरू पनि भेटिन्छन्। जहाँ हेरे पनि हरियाली देखिने यो ठाउँ धार्मिक, ऐतिहासिक र प्राकृतिक सम्पदाले भरिपूर्ण छ। दक्षिणकाली काठमाडौँको नजिकमा रहेको एक आकर्षक पर्यटकीय गन्तव्य हो। प्रकृतिसँग आलिङ्गनका लागि र आध्यात्मिक शान्तिको खोजीका लागि यो ठाउँ एक उपयुक्त गन्तव्य हो। व्यस्त जीवनशैली र कोलाहलबाट मनको शान्ति प्राप्तिका लागि ध्यान तथा साधनामा लीन हुन यो ठाउँ उत्कृष्ट छ।
Nepal expands polling centres to mobilise 132,000 temporary police ahead of March parliamentary elections. Madhya's Chief Minister Saroj Kumar Yadav resigns after Supreme Court orders confidence vote, triggering political uncertainty. Nepal observes 34th International Day of Persons with Disabilities, highlighting ongoing challenges and need for year-round support. Kremlin denies Putin rejected US peace proposals as Ukraine attacks Russian oil tankers in Black Sea. New Delhi air quality plummets to severe levels amid toxic smog, raising health risks across the city. And Lumbini Lions move to 4th place with crucial win over Biratnagar Kings ahead of upcoming playoffs. Hello there, I'm Smithu Gising Tamang and this is NTV World News Hour coming to you live from Kathmandu at 2200 hours. Now the news in detail. Nepal is expanding its polling infrastructure ahead of its upcoming parliamentary elections scheduled for March 5. Nepal's Election Commission has announced a significant increase in polling centres as the number of registered voters continues to rise. 10,967 new polling centres have been added across the country. Under Nepali law, each centre must serve roughly 1,064 voters. This expansion brings the total number of polling centres to 33,194, up from just over 22,000. The Commission also says it has scrapped 93 polling sites and added 75 others, especially in remote Himalayan regions where winter snowfall has already forced communities to move to lower settlements. Meanwhile, Nepal's Home Ministry is preparing to deploy an expanded force of 132,000 temporary police to secure the polls. Recruitment will begin once local authorities confirm the final list of polling locations. Authorities say both the logistical adjustments and the security build-up aim to ensure smooth voting in one of South Asia's most challenging terrains. Nepal's Minister for Communication and Information Technology and government spokesperson Jagdish Kharel has assured that the government has created a conducive environment for the upcoming elections. Speaking to reporters, Kharel emphasized that since the government was formed with a clear mandate to hold elections within 6 months, there's no doubt the polls will take place as scheduled. He also highlighted that alongside the electoral process, the government is moving decisively to promote good governance and strengthen anti-corruption measures.
फागुन 21 मा चुनाव गर्नुपर्ने छ। त्यो चुनाव जसरी पनि हुँदैछ यो सन्देश यहाँहरूले पनि दिनु होला। चुनावको सम्पूर्ण वातावरण बनिसकेको छ र सरकार चुनाव गराउने प्रक्रियामा अगाडि बढेको छ। निर्वाचन आयोगले चुनाव गर्ने प्रक्रिया अगाडि बढाइसकेको छ र त्यो वातावरण सरकारको तर्फबाट बनाउने कुरामा सबै तयार भएको छ। सरकार यसमा दृढ छ।
In Nepal's southern Madhya province, political turmoil deepens as Chief Minister Saroj Kumar Yadav resigned today following a Supreme Court order to seek a vote of confidence within 24 hours. Yadav, seeing no realistic path to secure majority support, stepped down during the provincial assembly session. His controversial appointment under Article 168(3) had already sparked a dispute, while the federal government recently replaced the provincial governor and the crisis. Province Chief Dr. Surendra Love has now called on assembly members supported by 2 or more parties to stake their claim for forming a new government by 5 p.m. this Friday as political negotiations intensify. Nepal observed the 34th International Day of Persons with Disabilities with official programs emphasizing rights and inclusion. Authorities highlighted ongoing support measures, including rehabilitation services for those with severe disabilities lacking family care. The 2078 census reports 647,000 people, which is 2.2%, living with disabilities in Nepal, with officials noting that improvement efforts extend year-round. The Kremlin says it's wrong to suggest Vladimir Putin rejected US proposals for peace. in Ukraine after talks with U.S. negotiators. In Moscow, Russian officials say the meeting was constructive, but no compromise had been reached over territorial concessions for Ukraine. The Russia-Ukraine conflict, meanwhile, has escalated as Ukraine launched an underwater drone attack on 2 Russian oil tankers in the Black Sea. In response, Russian President Vladimir Putin condemned the attack as an act of piracy and warned of cutting off all maritime communications with Ukraine if such strikes continue. He also threatened retaliation against ships from nations supporting Ukraine. New Delhi's air quality deteriorated sharply on Tuesday evening, with pollution levels soaring across the capital and several neighborhoods slipping into the severe category. The thick layer of acrid smog once again blanketed the city, pushing daily life into a familiar yet dangerous routine of health warnings and limited visibility. India's capital battles this toxic haze each year, driven largely by stubble burning in neighboring agricultural states where farmers torch crop residue to clear fields for the next planting season. Public health experts warn that residents, especially children, older adults, and those with respiratory conditions face elevated risks as PM2.5 concentrations spike far beyond safe limits. In Nepal Premier League cricket, Lumbini Lions secured a 5-wicket win over Biratnagar Kings on Wednesday. After restricting Biratnagar to 144 for 8, Lumbini chased the target in 17.4 hours with Darcy Scott's half-century and Shermal's 3 wickets leading the way. The victory moves Lumbini to 4th place with 6 points, strengthening their playoff hopes while Biratnagar sits 3rd. Tomorrow, Kathmandu Gorkhas face Pokhara Avengers, followed by Chitwan Rhinos against Sudur Paschim Royals. Nepal's Madhya province is in political turmoil after Chief Minister Saroj Kumar Yadav resigns amid a Supreme Court-ordered confidence vote. More on this in our issue of the day. In Nepal, political turmoil has struck Madhya province as the provincial head has called for the formation of a new government. Dr. Surendra Love, the province chief, announced today that in accordance with Article 168, Clause 2 of the Constitution of Nepal, he is inviting members of the Provincial Assembly who can command a majority through the support of 2 or more parties to stake their claim for forming a new government. The deadline for submitting such claims has been set for 5 p.m. this Friday, December 5th. This move comes after Chief Minister Saroj Kumar Yadav resigned from his post earlier today. The resignation follows a Supreme Court order directing that a vote of confidence be conducted within 24 hours. With a little chance of securing the necessary majority, Yadav stepped down in the assembly, bringing an abrupt end to his tenure. The political uncertainty adds to a pattern of instability in Nepal's provinces, where shifting alliances and judicial interventions have frequently reshaped local governments. In Nepal's southern Madhya province, a dramatic political shift took place today after a Supreme Court order intensified a constitutional standoff. Madhya's Chief Minister Saroj Kumar Yadav has resigned just hours after the Supreme Court ordered him to seek a vote of confidence within 24 hours. Seeing no realistic path to securing majority support, Yadav announced his resignation during the Provincial Assembly session itself. He was appointed earlier under Article 168, Clause 3 of Nepal's constitution as the leader of the largest party in the assembly. However, that appointment, made at a private facility in Bardibas, triggered immediate controversy and accusations of procedural violation. Amid the dispute, Nepal's federal government replaced the provincial governor, removing Sumitra Subedi Bhandari and recommending Surendra Love as her successor. The trust vote session saw empty seats from 7 opposition parties, with only UML lawmakers present. Before stepping down, Yadav argued that his very appointment did not require a mandatory confidence vote. The Deputy Speaker later adjourned the session, saying the resignation made further proceedings unnecessary. The province now faces renewed political uncertainty as parties begin negotiations to form the new government. Moving on, political instability continues to shake Madhya province in Nepal, where the provincial leadership has seen a rapid turnover since the second provincial elections. Since the elections, the province has had 3 province chiefs and 5 chief ministers, with frequent resignations disrupting governance and public service delivery. The turmoil began after the Gen Z movement prompted then Chief Minister Satish Kumar Singh to step down, followed by similar resignations from his successors. Most recently, Saroj Yadav was appointed Chief Minister under Article 168(3) of the Constitution, however resigned after it became clear he could not secure a vote of confidence. Internal divisions and lack of political cohesion among the province's 10 represented parties, including the dominant UML and the second largest Congress, have prevented any government from lasting long. Even the province chief, Sumitra Subidi Bandari, was dismissed by the Federal Council for alleged misconduct, highlighting the deepening instability in Madhya province. Today marks the 34th International Day of Persons with Disabilities, highlighting both progress and persistent challenges. From social barriers to digital access, the struggle for full inclusion continues across education, healthcare, and employment. In our cover story tonight. Nepal marked the 34th International Day of Persons with Disabilities with various programs, highlighting both achievements and ongoing challenges faced by people with disabilities. The day, observed globally since 1992 under UN initiatives, aims to promote rights and inclusion. However, activists note that societal attitudes in Nepal remain largely unchanged, with persons with disabilities facing barriers not only in education, healthcare and employment, but also within their own families. For individuals with severe disabilities, the Ministry of Women, Children and Senior Citizens provides support, including placement in rehabilitation centers for those without family care. According to the 2078 National Census, around 2.2% of Nepal's population, over 647,000 people, live with disabilities classified into 10 main categories. Officials say work to improve their lives continues throughout the year, beyond the observance of a single day. Across Nepal, inspiring stories show that physical disabilities need not define one's life if courage and determination are present. In eastern Nawalparasi, Nilkantha Timolsena was born visually impaired and struggled in school, failing 3 times by 4th grade. Undeterred, he traveled across districts to continue his education and now teaches visually impaired children himself. Similarly, Hari Prasad Bandari, paralyzed from a fall 14 years ago, runs a photography studio while navigating life in a wheelchair. Yet, despite such examples, people with disabilities still face societal barriers, from inaccessible schools, offices and public transport to poorly implemented government policies. On the 34th International Day of Persons with Disabilities, Nawalparasi marked the occasion with wheelchair races and other inclusive events, highlighting the need for both awareness and structural accessibility. Since the establishment of local governments under Nepal's 3-tier system, Bara district in Nepal has seen a remarkable improvement in services for people with disabilities, with local authorities now actively providing healthcare, education and assistive support to thousands who were previously neglected. Here's a report.
As Nepal gradually shifts to fully functional federal 3-tier governance system, service deliveries of few sectors have received an unexpected boost. As the world marks International Day of Persons with Disabilities, these people have been elated in some districts like Bara in southern Nepal. Approximately 700,000 people with different forms of disabilities live in Nepal. They have often failed being neglected due to their exclusion in state-rendered services, even through the local governments. But the scenario now has changed as local governments significantly prioritizing healthcare, education and overall well-being of people with disabilities. Most local levels in Bara district reported implementing a range of disability-focused initiatives. A wide range of programs and strategies aimed at promoting the inclusion, accessibility and empowerment of persons with disabilities in all aspects of society. Ganga Prasad Wagle, president of the Nepal Disabled Service Association, highlighted local authorities have become key partners in advancing services for differently abled people. A health camp offered free medical checkup to 552 people with disabilities. Medical checkup at the doorstep for those unable to attend the camp also was available. In Bara, about 12,000 people with disabilities still need ongoing support in healthcare, education and social inclusion.
As the world marks International Day of Persons with Disabilities, Nepal's push for digital governance puts forward a growing concern. For most people living with disabilities, full equitable access is still out of reach. Bijay Tapandari files a story with a disabled-friendly touch.
As Nepal aims to graduate from least developed to developing country status within a year, public service delivery also is undergoing a digital shift. From web portals and mobile apps to AI-powered tools, many state-rendered services have been promised in digital versions. But for many persons with disabilities, the promise of a digital future remains a conceit.
Digital accessibility means that the technology can be usable for everyone. So if they are persons with visual disability, if they are persons with hearing impairment, otherwise if they are the low vision, and those having autism spectrum condition and the intellectual disability.
This includes features like screen reader support, adjustable text size or contrast, captioning for hearing impaired users, and simple clear design for people with cognitive disabilities. Legally, the Act relating to Rights of Persons with Disabilities 2017 guarantees the right to access services, information and communication. Since the law doesn't define the technical standards of websites and apps, much of the public and private digital services in Nepal remain difficult to use, not only for the disabled but also for the majority. Experts and the users say most of the web portals need serious redevelopment and not just quick fixes.
Web accessibility guidelines जुन छ तपाईको त्यो चाहिँ भनेको part of the overall accessibility umbrella भनौं न digital accessibility भित्र पर्छ हैन आफै त्यो सिंगै गाइडलाइन भनेको नेपाल सरकारले अवलम्बन पनि गरेको छैन अहिले चाहिँ सेपरेटली एक्सेसिबिलिटी गाइडलाइन के रे वेब एक्सेसिबिलिटी गाइडलाइन छैन हामीसँग डिजिटल र फिजिकल भनेर चाहिँ छ जुन महिला मन्त्रालय अन्तर्गत त्यो गाइडलाइन आएको छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ रिभाइज गर्नुपर्छ त्यो पुरानो भइसक्यो.
From training developers to setting mandatory standards, early investment can make Nepal's digital transformation inclusive.
I think the policy framework is very, very essential. So we have to modify all the policy framework that is associated with the web content accessibility, that associated with the digital accessibility and ICT policy of Nepal. For those providing services like bankers, like the stock market and the digital purchase and the digital marketing. So these entrepreneurs and these corporate houses should also make all their products accessible for people with disability.
As Nepal accelerates its digital shift, it must cater to everyone. Despite having timely amended laws, tools and standards, missing is the commitment to make accessibility the default and not just an afterthought.
In Nepal, a major anti-corruption move has brought one of the country's top aviation officials into legal scrutiny. The Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, Nepal's top anti-graft body, has filed a corruption case against Pradeep Adhikari, Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority, along with 6 others. The charges stem from alleged irregularities in the construction of the Nalin Chowk helipad in Bhaktapur near Kathmandu. According to the special court, the accused include senior officials from the Aviation Authority, a private engineering consultancy, and its chief Vijay Thapa. Investigators claim the project caused a financial loss of more than 134 million Nepali rupees. The commission arrested the defendants on Wednesday, but because the indictment arrived late in the day, court proceedings, including statements and bail hearings, will begin only on Friday. The case has intensified public debate over corruption in Nepal's infrastructure sector, especially projects tied to aviation safety and tourism. Nepal's Prime Minister Sushila Karki has reaffirmed that the government will not relent in its fight against corruption, even as the country prepares for upcoming elections. Speaking at a meeting with a delegation led by Sudan Kirati, head of the newly formed Progressive Democratic Party at Sigadarbar, Prime Minister Karki emphasized that government actions are aligned with the principles of the Gen Z movement. Karki stressed that anti-corruption measures are progressing alongside preparations for free and fair elections. Prime Minister Karki also clarified that existing state institutions are sufficient to investigate corruption cases and there is no need to form additional commissions. Nepal has signed a 34.59 billion yen loan agreement, about 31.7 billion rupees, with Japan for the Koteshwar intersection improvement project in Kathmandu. The deal was formalized today at the Ministry of Finance in the presence of Finance Minister Rameshwar Prasad Khanal. The loan provided through JICA carries a 10-year grace period, a 30-year repayment schedule, and an annual interest rate of 0.2%. The project will build a new underpass and flyover along the Koteshwar Jadibuti corridor, aiming to ease chronic congestion across Kathmandu, Lalitpur, Bhaktapur, and the BP highway. Despite government's policy to promote Nepal as a wedding destination for foreigners, the provisions remain largely on papers due to lack of implementation. No efforts were made to materialize the budgetary provision of 2023-24 that envisaged wedding in Janakpur and childbirth in Lumbini. However, currency advantage, geographical proximity, and visa-free travel makes Nepal a favored nuptial destination for Indian lovebirds. Virat Anupam attends a special destination wedding of an Indian couple in Kathmandu.
The national budget of Nepal for the fiscal year 2023-2024 includes an important point to make Nepal a wedding destination for foreigners. The then government envisaged making Nepal's Janakpur as the wedding hub, especially for Indians. This program was a concept to ignite the marital cultural emotions of the ancient Ram-Sita wedding for the would-be couples from India. This program largely remains in the budget without any concrete efforts from the state side to materialize it. The spillover effect benefited major hotels in some of the cities, including capital Kathmandu.
South Asia, typically, they save money for wedding and they want to spend without any break, without any calculation. Every parents aspire their children's wedding to be the lavish, the most talked about. And Nepal is spiritually very conducive for Indian parents for a destination wedding, and this is happening. Even more so in a border area. If you go in Mechi Crown or if you go to Tiger Palace or those nice hotels, you can see their booking. Nepal is at least half the time cheaper, if not 3 times.
In order to reap the benefit of the destination wedding culture mushrooming in India, an Indo-Nepal wedding summit was held in Kathmandu in 2023 from November 3 to November 4. Visa-free travel, geographic proximity of the next-door neighbor, and currency advantage, among others, make Nepal an ideal destination for a wedding for Indian lovebirds.
I've been coming here and we are doing the destinations wedding across Nepal, especially in Kathmandu, since last 10 to 12 years. Nepal is like Kerala in India is like a God's own country, so I would say Nepal in India is like a God's own country. So we bring our clients, we bring our artists, celebrities across our Nepal country.
There is no official data on the number of Indian couples tying knot in Nepal every year. However, from November to February, the major Hindu wedding seasons, Nepal's hotels and resorts are predominantly booked by the destination wedding management companies, mainly from India. Though the trend is on the rise, resolving some of the bottlenecks could further promote Nepal as the desired destination for Indian national to get married.
I have heard a story where the Indian wedding had to pay 22 lakhs to bring their own goods to Nepal. And so we need to be very sensible about such incidents, and our policy should be destination wedding friendly.
Many Indian couples say Nepal is the best for wedding if everything goes okay. If the marriage happens elsewhere, Nepal is, as always, the best honeymoon destination for many Indian nationals. With camera person Samir Thapa, Virat Anupam, reporting for Public Service Broadcasting, NTV World, Kathmandu.
In western Nepal, farmers are once again facing a familiar and urgent challenge: fertilizer shortages at the peak of the winter planting season. Farmers in Kailali district say they are struggling to access urea fertilizer essential for wheat, vegetables and other winter crops. In Bajani municipality, one of the region's most fertile areas, the shortage is so severe that farmers are spending entire nights in queues outside distribution centers only to return home empty-handed. Local farmers warn that delayed fertilizer use could sharply reduce yields, putting both livelihoods and food supply at risk. Officials acknowledge that limited stock at sales centers means only a small number of people receive fertilizer each day, leaving many without their share. Nepal, which relies heavily on fertilizer imports, faces recurring seasonal shortages. Farmers fear that unless supplies stabilize soon, this year's winter harvest could suffer significant losses. Farmers in Nepal's far west are increasingly turning to dragon fruit cultivation after trial farming showed strong earnings potential. The crop was first introduced 5 years ago by Western Multi Agriculture Private Limited in Matayan of Bhimdatta municipality. With both production and market demand rising, more local farmers are now shifting from traditional crops to dragon fruit, seeing it as a promising new source of income. International updates are lined up next, but for now, a quick recap of the headlines. Nepal expands polling centers to mobilize 132,000 temporary police ahead of March parliamentary elections. Madhya's Chief Minister Saroj Kumar Yadav resigns after Supreme Court orders confidence vote, triggering political uncertainty. Nepal observes 34th International Day of Persons with Disabilities, highlighting ongoing challenges and need for year-round support. Kremlin denies Putin rejected U.S. peace proposals as Ukraine attacks Russian oil tankers in Black Sea. New Delhi air quality plummets to severe levels amid toxic smog, raising health risks across the city. And Lumbini Lions move to 4th place with crucial win over Biratnagar Kings ahead of upcoming playoffs. Five NATO allies on December 3 confirmed major new purchases of U.S. defense equipment for Ukraine under the Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List (PURL) initiative. At a NATO foreign ministers meeting in Brussels, two joint PURL packages worth $500 million each were unveiled, one funded by Germany, Norway and Poland, and another by Germany, Norway and the Netherlands. Germany will contribute about $200 million, Norway up to $500 million, and the Netherlands $290 million, including air defense and F-16 ammunition. NATO Chief Mark Rutte said Ukraine is set to receive up to $5 billion in arms through PURL by year's end as allies continue to increase pressure on Russia. The Maldives has approved a landmark amendment to its Drug Act, making the death penalty mandatory for specific drug-related crimes, including possession and smuggling of large quantities of illegal substances. Under the new law, individuals found with more than 350 grams of cannabis, 250 grams of diamorphine, or 100 grams of other controlled drugs may face execution. Drug smuggling is also punishable by death. However, the Supreme Court can only impose the death penalty with a unanimous verdict. Otherwise, offenders face life imprisonment and fines up to $648,500. The legislation also strengthens law enforcement and treatment systems, introduces stricter controls on emerging drugs, limits pardons and parole, and allows authorities to confiscate assets linked to drug offenses. The bill was passed with 65 votes in favor. Human rights groups may raise concerns as the Maldives join a small number of countries imposing capital punishment for drug-related crimes. Schools in India's union territory of Puducherry were closed on Wednesday as authorities braced for heavy rainfall triggered by cyclone Dec.2025 moving across the Bay of Bengal. The India Meteorological Department IMD issued a warning of intense rain and strong winds and called for a complete suspension of fishing operations. On Tuesday, the IMD placed several districts in Tamil Nadu, Tiruvallur, Chennai, Kanchipuram and Chengalpattu under a red alert as heavy rains associated with the cyclone swept through the state, disrupting routine activities and heightening the risk of flooding. Emergency teams and local authorities are monitoring the cyclone's trajectory as the region prepares for further severe weather in the coming days. In Indonesia's central Tapanuli, survivors waded through knee-deep floodwaters after heavy rains last week triggered devastating floods and landslides on the island of Sumatra. More than 712 people have been confirmed dead, with hundreds still missing. The severe weather has left communities reeling, and rescue operations continue as authorities battle both the ongoing floods and the search for the missing. Indonesia, an archipelago prone to natural disasters, has seen an increasing number of severe flooding incidents in recent years, exacerbated by heavy rainfall and climate change. South Africa has begun administering lenacapavir, the twice-yearly injectable medicine shown to reduce the risk of HIV transmission by more than 99.9%, marking a significant milestone in the country's fight against the epidemic. Kegoratil Afane, 32, is among the first South Africans to receive the injection as part of the early rollout phase. Health officials say lenacapavir could dramatically improve prevention efforts by offering a discreet, long-acting alternative to daily oral medication, an option many patients avoid due to stigma or difficulty maintaining adherence. South Africa remains home to the world's largest population of people living with HIV, and authorities say long-acting prevention tools like lenacapavir will be critical to slowing transmission rates in the years ahead. News from the business front when we return from this break.
The US dollar has reached an all-time high in Nepal, according to the Nepal Rashtra Bank, with several other foreign currencies also strengthening against the rupee. The central bank has set the US dollar buying rate at 143.50 NPR and the selling rate at 144.10 NPR. The euro is trading at 166.57 NPR to buy and 167.27 NPR to sell. while the British pound is at 189.43 NPR buying and 190.22 NPR selling. Other currencies also show gains, the Swiss franc at 178.33 to 179.07 NPR, the Australian dollar at 93.96 to 94.36 NPR, and the Canadian dollar at 102.42. Rising foreign exchange rates are putting pressure on imports and increasing the cost of living in Nepal, raising concerns for households and businesses alike. In a significant step towards energy independence, the European Union has secured an agreement to ban all imports of Russian gas by autumn 2027. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen hailed the move, saying, "We're turning that page and we're turning it for good." The decision marks a decisive shift away from reliance on Russian energy sources following the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and the EU's push for energy diversification. The EU's commitment to phasing out Russian gas comes in response to the ongoing war in Ukraine and the bloc's efforts to reduce dependence on Russia for energy. This agreement is part of a broader measures to secure energy alternatives and strengthen European energy security in the face of geopolitical challenges.
We were paying to Russia 12 billion euros per month at the beginning of the war for fossil fuels. Now we're down to 1.5 billion per month, still too much. We aim to bring it down to zero.
Thousands of people took to the streets of Paris marching in protest for a people's budget. Organized by the CGT, FSU and Solidaires trade unions, the demonstration coincided with the return of the 2026 Social Security budget to the French National Assembly for review. Protesters are calling for a budget that prioritizes public welfare and social services amidst ongoing debates over government spending and economic policy. This protest highlights growing dissatisfaction in France regarding the government's fiscal policies, particularly concerning cuts to social programs. The march is part of a broader movement pushing for economic reforms that benefit the public, especially in areas like healthcare and social security. Manufacturers from around the world are presenting their latest defense and armament technologies at the 4th edition of the Egypt Defense Expo, EDX, which opened in Cairo this week. The biennial exhibition has drawn leading international companies specializing in weapon systems, military vehicles, cybersecurity solutions, and unmanned platforms. EDX has become a key meeting point for military officials, defense industry leaders, and procurement delegations from the Middle East, Africa, Europe, and Asia. Exhibitors are highlighting advancement in surveillance, air defense, tactical communications, and next-generation armored systems. Egypt, one of the largest defense markets in Africa, is using the event to expand partnerships, explore new procurement opportunities, and promote its own military manufacturing sector. The city of San Francisco in U.S. filed a landmark lawsuit on Tuesday against some of the nation's largest food manufacturers, alleging that ultra-processed foods are fueling a public health crisis. City Attorney David Chu named 10 companies in the suit, including Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Nestle, Kraft Heinz, Mondelez International, General Mills, Kellogg, Mars, Post Holdings, and Conagra brands. Products cited include Oreo cookies, Sour Patch Kids, Kit Kat, Cheerios, Lunchables, sodas, chips, processed meats, and energy drinks. The lawsuit claims these ultra-processed foods, defined as formulations of chemically manipulated, low-cost ingredients designed to encourage overconsumption, are linked to serious health conditions, including type 2 diabetes, colorectal cancer, heart disease, and even depression in younger populations. Earlier this year, a U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) report found that more than half of Americans' daily calories come from ultra-processed foods.
Now the sports update. In Nepal Premier League cricket, Lumbini Lions recorded an impressive 5-wicket victory over Biratnagar Kings on Wednesday. After winning the toss, Lumbini opted to bowl first, restricting Biratnagar to 144 for 8 in 20 overs at the Tribhuvan University International Cricket Ground. Lokesh Bum top scored for Biratnagar with 35 runs, while South African star Faf du Plessis, playing his first match of the tournament for the Kings, was dismissed for just 12. In response, Lumbini chased down the target of 145 runs in 17.4 hours, powered by an outstanding half-century from Darcy Sott. Sher Mal took 3 wickets to lead the Lions' bowling attack. With this win, Lumbini now has 6 points from 6 matches, moving up to 4th place and boosting their chances of reaching the playoffs. Biratnagar remains in 3rd with 8 points from 6 games, while Sudar Pachim Royals top the table. Tomorrow, the NPL schedule features 2 exciting matches: Kathmandu Gorkhas versus Pokhara Adventures in the first game, followed by Chitwan Rhinos against Sudar Pachim Royals in the second. The Hope Championship for amputee football in the Gaza Strip concluded on 20 November after 4 consecutive days of matches, marking a significant moment for athletes injured in years of conflict. Organized by the Palestine Amputee Football Association, the tournament aims to support amputees, promote their inclusion in official sports activities, and restore a sense of normalcy and resilience following intense periods of violence. Many of the participating players lost limbs during previous wars and military operations in Gaza. Organizers noted that the event took place at a time when the national amputee team was originally expected to compete in the West Asia qualifiers for the 2026 Amputee Football World Cup in Indonesia. The closure of border crossings and the ongoing conflict prevented the team from traveling. Time for weather updates now, first from Nepal and then across the globe. And before we wind up, let's take a look at the reminder of our top stories once again. Nepal expands polling centres to mobilize 132,000 temporary police ahead of March parliamentary elections. Madhya's Chief Minister Saroj Kumar Yadav resigns after Supreme Court orders confidence vote, triggering political uncertainty. Nepal observes 34th International Day of Persons with Disabilities, highlighting ongoing challenges and need for year-round support. Kremlin denies Putin rejected U.S. peace proposals as Ukraine attacks Russian oil tankers in Black Sea. New Delhi air quality plummets to severe levels amid toxic smog, raising health risks across the city. And Lumbini Lions move to 4th place with crucial win over Biratnagar Kings ahead of upcoming playoffs. And that's it for this edition of NTV World News Hour. Do join us through our social media and get the latest updates from our official website, nepaltelevision.com. I'm Smriti Singh Thamang signing off. Thank you for staying with us. Good night.